Hello everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui, and today we'll be drawing Draculaura, Frankie, and Claudine from Monster High. So let's not waste any time and hop right into the video. I actually thought that we would be drawing the Bratz girls today since they were the runner-up for 2 weeks in a row, and some of you guys voted and said that if an option is a runner-up for 3 weeks in a row, then I'll end up drawing it and make the next most voted option the runner-up in that video. But as you can see, we are drawing Monster High because that's what you guys voted for. I based the sketch and their clothes off of the older designs, and even though I do like the new designs they have in the newer movies, I ended up going for the original just because that's the classic, I guess you can say. I wanted to try and tell a story like I did in the Raven and Starfire video, and since Claudine is into designing and fashion, I thought it would be fun to have her sketching in her sketchbook. And since Draculaura is shorter than the rest, I had her peering over Claudine's arm to look at the fashions that she is sketching while walking with Frankie to class. I originally wanted to include a full body because I really like drawing shoes, and if you know Monster High, they have some really interesting shoes. But I felt like having them full body didn't really add anything to the composition, and it would make them so far away that you couldn't really focus on their expression and what was going on. So unfortunately, I had to zoom in, which meant I couldn't draw their shoes. But I felt like it was the right choice in zooming into the scene so you could see everything that's going on, even if that meant I had to nix the shoes. When I was creating their faces, I actually struggled quite a bit. I ended up redoing their faces about 5 to 6 times each, and it was definitely demotivating when drawing it because I would draw their face and then I would erase it and draw it again, and sometimes it would turn out better and sometimes it would turn out worse. And that's when I regret drawing traditionally a little bit because I don't have the luxury of a Ctrl-Z or an undo button. But after redrawing the face several times, I was finally able to get it, and I'm really happy with them now, so I guess my efforts were worth it. When I was adding the clothing and all the other details to each character, I noticed that they actually have a ton of detail I never noticed before. This really made me think about how I can learn to add all these small details into my own art to enhance it into future original drawings. So for example, just these small details of the seams on Draculaura's vest or her 2 small buttons. I think it really adds an element of intricacy to the design, and I definitely want to learn how to incorporate that more into my own art. I also noticed that they all have this fishnet skirt under their skirts, which I never saw before. And it kind of reminded me of the Flora incident where when I was researching her outfit, I didn't realize she had shorts under her dress the whole time. But I guess it's something that you don't really notice as a standout feature, and it's just something that adds detail kind of in the background. After sketching these characters, I definitely want to draw the other ghouls in the future, but there are so many outfits and so many characters that it'll probably take me a lifetime to draw them all. I kind of want to draw Cleo, Laguna, and Ghoulia next, but I kind of want to include Deuce as well, so we'll see if that happens. But I also really like Abby as a character. I think she's super funny, but I was kind of upset that she wasn't in the new version. And if you want to, you can let me know your favorite character from Monster High in the comments. So for the coloring, I started with Draculaura, and I actually watched the movie Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love while coloring, which may or may not have slowed me down. But I noticed that she has a lot of pink in her design, but there are different shades. So it made it a little bit difficult because the colors that I own in marker form are not exact matches to the digital version, which is always the challenge when you're trying to create something from digital art into a traditional piece, because there probably won't be exact matches. But I tried my best in matching the colors from my markers to the digital piece. Next was Claudine, and she has many variations of purple that I never really noticed before. And I ended up watching the Scaris movie, which made me realize that after I colored the sketchbook, she actually has a sketchbook in the movie that would have worked so much better than the one that I drew. So thinking about it now, I probably should have done more research, and if I could change one thing in this piece, it would be that. But for Claudine herself, it was pretty fun coloring her outfit, even though there was a little bit of difficulty finding the right purple, because as I had an issue with the pinks, there's not a lot of purples that I can choose from. And Frankie was the last and also the toughest, not because of the colors, but because of the plaid. I've never drawn or colored plaid before, so this definitely deterred me from coloring it more in the future because it was difficult in my opinion, and I'm sure there are other people that are experts in plaid, but this was definitely a challenge. I basically tried to break it down into smaller sections. So for example, I noticed that every other square was a gray-black color, and then in between that was the blue, but underneath the black squares there was a darker teal color, so I kind of went off that. And then I included the red lines afterwards by using a white gel pen and then coloring it with a red pen. And for her hair, I was originally going to color it in with marker, but it wasn't really precise enough, so I ended up using a fine liner just because her hair is black and white and it just seemed more efficient than trying to accurately fill in all the spaces with marker that I can easily fill in with a pen. And this was also one of the few times I colored skin that wasn't a human or normie skin color, which was pretty fun, and maybe that will encourage me to expand to monsters in future original art. But overall, I really like this piece, and I actually think it may be one of my favorites. As per usual, I feel like this piece could have been enhanced with a background, but so can many of my other pieces. But for the characters themselves, I really like how they turned out, and like I mentioned in one of my first fan art videos, I feel like now with my current style, I'm pretty happy with how I'm able to represent the characters. Let me know if you guys like it and what other characters you want me to draw from Monster High or other shows, and I'll add it to my list. Make sure to vote for the next character that you want to see me draw in the comments down below by either replying to my comment or putting your vote in your own comment. If you like these types of videos and want to see more like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified of when I post a new video. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Keep drawing, keep creating, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!